Back on the surface, the weeping wraith looms over the now empty battlefield. This traitor watches from a safe distance, having bylaid on everyone else. And he is already patting himself on the back for running away. What a hero. Meanwhile, the weeping wraith charges up another ball of pure doom, its glowing green tears promising a very, very bad day for someone. This massive energy blast slams right into Yan Yanggong's last known position, but the traitor is absolutely stunned to see our boy just tanked it. His brain completely short-circuits trying to figure out how that is even possible. Turns out Yan Yanggong just got a conveniently timed level up to level 6, which upgraded his flame shield into a persistent mana-draining flame armor. From his little coward's perch, the traitor just cannot believe his eyes, and he is having a full-blown meltdown over the impossible power-up. But a flashback to 5 minutes ago reveals the secret sauce: his minions, who have been hard at work in another dungeon entirely. They have been farming a massive pit of mobs just to funnel all the XP to their liege, and one of them even notes that Rark just got summoned away for a bit. Another is practically vibrating with excitement, hoping he is the next to get called up. Back in the present, Yan Yanggong looks up at the towering boss, ready for round 2, which is now preparing a good old-fashioned stomp attack. Its massive foot comes crashing down with enough force to shatter the ground. But our boy is already thinking strategy, noting big monsters have slow legs. He zips right under the stomp, using its own leg for cover, which sends the giant wraith tumbling backward, completely off balance, and it crashes to the ground with a world-shaking thud. With a flick of his wrist, Yan Yanggong summons a new weapon, a ridiculously oversized golden greatsword, because of course he does. He then launches himself into the air, ready to bring the pain. Coming down like a meteor right on the boss's face. This impact cracks its stone head wide open. That has gotta hurt. Dazed, the wraith just sits there, probably wondering what year it is, clutching its head while reeling from that holy beatdown. But Yan Yanggong is already winding up for another attack, spinning like a top. And this time, he is aiming straight for the eye socket. He unleashes a holy light flash at maximum output just to be sure, engulfing the entire area in a massive pillar of holy fire. From their coward's perch, the traitors watch the boss get absolutely vaporized, and the main traitor just smugly claims this is basic gameplay for our guy. What a liar. Standing in the aftermath, Yan Yanggong feels like something's not quite right, thinking the fight was almost *2 easy for a rare boss 1 level higher. Suddenly, green energy starts sizzling up from the ground around him. As the boss's remains dissolve into a swarm of glowing particles, those glowing particles start swirling together because of course the boss is not dead. Instead, it erupts in a massive wave of corrosive energy, catching Yan Yanggong right in the blast, his mana already screaming for help. This whole area just gets nuked with green death fog, and our boy gets blasted back, barely keeping his footing against the shockwave. His mana is practically on empty, meaning that fancy flame armor is about to fizzle out. Now the entire battlefield is shrouded in a thick, poisonous mist. From their safe spot, the traitor explains this is just the boss's acid evaporating, a fun new battlefield feature. His buddy is, as usual, about to have a panic attack. This traitor realizes this is a second phase and wonders why Yan Yanggong is not just swarming it with minions. Inside the fog, Yan Yanggong is stalling for time, waiting for his minions to level up for him. He moves silently through the mist, hunting for that traitor. His eyes lock onto a spot, thinking he has found his target, so he immediately launches forward, charging up a fireball. This attack flies blindly into the fog, a fiery probe of destruction. It explodes in a flash of red, hoping to flush someone out. But a ghostly hand just swats it away, and Yan Yanggong realizes it is a decoy. This real boss materializes right behind him for a classic sneak attack. It grabs him by the face, trying to drain his armor, but our boy thinks it is making a big mistake. With a defiant roar, he smashes his fist into the ground, unleashing a counterattack of his own. This wraith's eyes flare with green light, clearly not done with this fight. So Yan Yanggong swings his massive golden sword to meet the challenge, parrying a shadowy claw from the boss's much faster second form. From the sidelines, the traitor's buddy points out the acid fog has finally cleared. And look who it is, the other traitor, yonking, waving like they are old pals. He claims Dov and Eileen went back for ore, a story so thin you could see right through it. Meanwhile, inside that very same cave, Dov is having the time of his life, greedily scooping up shiny blue crystals, practically cackling that he is about to be rich, a true master of finance. Just then, a foot crushes the very crystal he was reaching for, and it is Eileen towering over him with some serious "we need to talk" energy. She is terrified, asking him what the hell he is actually picking up. But Dov just looks confused, completely oblivious to the danger. Then the realization hits his face like a ton of bricks. Turns out this mine is actually a massive burial pit filled with skeletons. This dwarf absolutely loses it, screaming about the tomb of a greediest dwarven king. His bag of treasure spills open, revealing a pile of skulls and bones. He is left kneeling in a boneyard, his get-rich-quick scheme in absolute shambles. This poor guy finally understands he was charmed the second he walked in. Eileen just asks why she was not affected, and he has got nothing, absolutely no clue. Dov's brilliant theory is that he is short, so he got poisoned the most, a true scientific mind. Back on the surface, the traitor's buddy offers to go fetch the others from the cave, but he is getting absolutely no response from Yonking, so he reaches out to get his attention, and his hand phases right through him. It is a damn illusion. A moment later, he looks down to see a hand bursting from his own chest, and his brain just completely short-circuits from the shock. He spots the real asterisk Yonking collapsed in the distance, totally confused, just lying there unconscious in a pile of rocks. This guy then notices his own arm has been sliced off, wondering who could have done it. But before he can solve that mystery, his head gets lopped clean off. And here's our culprit, a new demon lady looking pretty pleased with her work. This whole battlefield is just littered with unconscious or dead adventurers now, and she is very interested in Yan Yanggong's demonic aura, moving in to study our boy, which never means anything good. Suddenly, a massive warhammer comes flying right at her face, but she just casually swats it aside with one arm. This hammer completely shatters on impact, barely even slowing her down. And look who threw it, one of Yan Yanggong's minions finally joining the party. He looks down at the traitor's body, probably thinking, well, that is one problem solved. He figures out the traitors were just poisoned, fighting their own imaginary enemies. But he is still mad he could not get there in time to save them. This demon lady is just baffled. Why is not this dwarf still tripping on poison? Just then, a spear zips right past her head, slamming into the ground, thrown by another figure way in the back. She assumes it is that tall hunter who is apparently a master of stealth. Wrong again, it is the dwarf minion dropping in for a surprise party, and he brings his hammer down with everything he has got. Only for her to stop it cold, mocking him for being 2 levels lower. Since he delivered himself to her, she is happy to end this now, and that is the face of pure, unfiltered regret right there. She unloads a torrent of green death magic at point-blank range, but at the same time, another spear flies in from the distance, aimed low. She scoffs, thinking they are trying to ambush her again, except the dwarf was not down. He grabs her leg to hold her still. Her brain just completely short-circuits. How is this guy still moving? He snarls that she is not going anywhere, tanking the damage. Now she realizes she is completely stuck with no way to dodge, and the spear slams home right through her chest. Turns out he popped his racial skill, Stone Skin, just to buy enough time for the hit. So that Stone Skin skill is basically a 5-second I am invincible button with no mana cost. And the spear takes her head clean off, leaving the dwarf minion collapsed on the ground. But she is not down, she just grabs the spear, green energy flaring as she tries to yank it out. Her head completely reforms from smoke while she uses rapid corrosion to melt the weapon stuck in her chest. From the bushes, Eileen cannot believe it, the all-or-nothing attack did 0 damage. Dov is having a similar meltdown, screaming that she is completely unharmed. And she just smirks, mocking these low-level minions for even daring to fight her. Then she unleashes a massive wave of her own corrosive magic to end this. Eileen screams out for Dov, seeing the attack coming right for them. But the demon lady has already locked onto her hiding spot, charging up a nasty-looking poison beam with Eileen's name on it. This green laser of death zips right through the forest, and it blasts Eileen clear out of the trees, sending her flying. With the minions handled, she turns back to finally study Yan Yanggong. Except, where'd the dwarf go? There's just a bloodstain on the ground. She then realizes Yan Yanggong is also gone from his spot. Following a suspicious trail of blood, she scans the empty battlefield, and the trail leads her right to a tree where someone is making a getaway. It is Yan Yanggong carrying his wounded minion on his back, a classic hero rescue. But she has already found them, warning that escape is not an option. She fires off another poison beam, dead set on finishing them off, and it slams right into Yan Yanggong's back as he shields his minion. But instead of screaming, his eyes are glowing, he is analyzing the attack. This whole area erupts in a geyser of corrosive green light, and she is already mourning the loss of a special adventurer. What a total waste. A hand then reaches out of the blast as our boy figures out how her skills work. Yan Yanggong is just standing there, completely fine, and oh look, he just leveled up again. This demon lady absolutely loses her mind, wondering where he is farming all this XP. Cut to another dungeon where one of his minions just took down a massive boss, who proudly reports the job is done, getting his liege to level 7. Back on the battlefield, Yan Yanggong explains there was never any resentment to begin with, because the whole dungeon has been pumping out a hallucinogenic poison gas. He then summons a new kind of flame, a swirling pink energy in his palm, revealing that his fire can now ignite the poison in the air, a skill he just unlocked. So as her next attack comes flying in, he is just watching it calmly, and the poison blast hits the ground and just combusts, turning the air into a minefield. She starts panicking for real, spamming poison bullets everywhere. But Yan Yanggong just weaves through the storm of green death like it is nothing, charging up a golden kick with some serious return to sender energy, and he punts her right into her own exploding poison cloud. Green energy just instantly stitches her wound back together, and Yan Yanggong is floored. She's got self-healing magic, but she is absolutely livid this will leave a scar, ruining her bikini season. Our boy responds by cooking up a swirling ball of dark red energy, slamming it right into her poison blast in a massive explosion. She mocks him, saying his flames just turn her poison into a deadlier gas, but Yan Yanggong just gives her a cool "is that so?" Then he shoves his ignition of time flame right in her face, and that is the look of someone who just made a huge mistake. This whole battlefield just erupts in a blinding pink inferno. When the smoke clears, Yan Yanggong is the only one left standing, casually collecting another 400 experience points for the win. Down in the crater, the demon lady is looking pretty worse for wear, thinking she has successfully faked him out with the same trick again. Her brilliant plan is to retreat and then hunt down his friends, a real class act. Suddenly, a blue laser zips past her face, interrupting her villain monologue. Followed by an ambush from above, she thinks there is a sixth person. Then a hand grabs her from behind and she realizes there is a seventh attacker, revealing one of his massive demonic minions has her in its grip. She's completely losing her mind, screaming about where all these people are coming from. Another one of his minions drops in with a massive crimson slash, sending the demon lady flying across the battlefield, and she cannot believe it, there is an eighth one now, which turns out to be a giant monster ready to swallow her whole. Meanwhile, in a completely different dungeon, one of his minions is just wailing on a bug monster, landing a solid demonic right hook to its face, because the idiot bug just swallowed the boss they were supposed to capture. After some forceful encouragement, the bug monster starts to heave, and Yan Yanggong confirms the boss is in fact still alive in there. His other minions are just completely losing their minds over this screw-up. But they all snap to attention when their liege arrives on the scene. This boss gets spat out, a demon lady who'd rather die than serve a human. So Yan Yanggong just holds a sword to her and says, "Fine, die then." She is all ready for a noble end, staring down the blade, until a golden light envelops her and she looks very confused. His other minions just welcome the new trash to the team. What a great work environment. And just like that, she has been converted, looking up at her new master. Now kneeling obediently at Yan Yanggong's feet. This all nets him a level up, unlocking a demonic nightmare form and new poison skills for his minions, plus a bunch of loot including a tier of venom orb for crafting. One of his minions is just vibing, loving the shared power-up from his liege. And just then, Eileen comes running back, carrying the nearly dead dwarf minion. She is in a total panic, both of her friends are in critical condition. So Yan Yanggong shows up to the triage, telling her he will take over the healing. But one of his demonic knights steps in, insisting a subordinate can handle it, unleashing a massive wave of golden healing energy across the area, which patches the guys up, though they are just shy of a level up for a full recovery. Someone then points out that the boss's stone minions have mysteriously vanished. This newly converted demon lady sees her chance, offering to lead him to secret treasure. And another minion is already seething, calling her a cunning succub. The office drama starts early. Back with the patients, the healing magic is slowly knitting them back together. And Yan Yanggong notes their lives are saved, but they will need a proper priest to regrow limbs. He tells Eileen to get them out of the dungeon, promising to cover all the costs. For extra security, he sends his newest demon minion along as a bodyguard. This rest of the crew gets recalled to his demon space, leaving one very eager demon on escort duty. Our boy realizes the other adventurer bylaid, but is not worried with a level 7 demon protecting his friends. So Eileen heads out, carrying the dwarf with her demonic escort in tow, and the demon asks why she covered the dwarf, making Eileen blush about his dissolved armor. Her bodyguard is completely baffled, arguing teammates are just tools, naked or not. While they are gone, another minion gets to work opening a treasure chest with his fist. Suddenly, a new challenger appears, rocking some seriously evil eyes, while one of Yan Yanggong's minions smashes the treasure chest open, only to get his fist snagged by a magical chain trap, and the whole floor erupts, binding him completely. He is ambushed by another adventurer who wonders if he is a fellow trap specialist. This minion Netta, who is now strung up like a demonic piñata as his partner watches from below. She yells that she is coming to cut him down, a classic hero move, but Netta, who screams for her to watch her back, it is a trap. Too late, a shadowy presence with glowing red eyes is right behind her, and we meet the culprit, a guy with a smile that screams, "I have no dental plan." This chains constrict around Netta, who squeezing the life out of him. As he struggles against the energized trap, sparks flying everywhere. Down below, the red-haired adventurer is now face-to-face with the creep. He just grins, saying he was hoping they'd show up for his little party. Meanwhile, back with Yan Yanggong, the chest is open, revealing a hoard of shiny crystals. His new demon minion is just gushing over his incredible luck, calling it a rare find. But Yan Yanggong is not celebrating, he senses something is very wrong. This new girl tries to cheer him up, promising better loot ahead, really laying on the suck-up routine. He cuts her off, revealing Netta, who and the others are under attack, and giving her new orders. As she stands there, a little slime minion pops up at her feet. Back with the ambush, the red-haired minion is down and bleeding out. Her partner is now stuck in a pit of black tar, facing the new villain. This demonic minion struggles against the sticky trap, realizing they were ambushed from the start. This hunter, Zhu Yin, gloats from above, explaining his magic-reinforced tar is inescapable. He is a level 7 adventure hunter, already planning to kill them and then their master for the XP. This minion is absolutely livid at the disrespect, but the hunter just scoffs, thinking they are faking their rank. Our new villain gives a whole lecture on how levels work, smugly certain he cannot be fooled. Then a massive demonic presence looms behind him, asking what level it asterisk looks like. And the minion is just as shocked, realizing this guy is actually level 7. Zhu Yin explains he was already level 6 before this and he got more than just the boss's XP. With a truly punchable grin, he asks where they think all the dungeon's other monsters went. Turns out he lured all the stone minions away and killed them himself, hogging all the experience. This trapped minion finally gets it, then asks if their liege heard the confession. Zhu Yin just mocks him, promising to deliver his last words as he moves in for the kill. Suddenly, a swirling red energy connects the minion to someone far away, and Yan Yanggong appears in a flash of red, confirming he heard everything. This hunter absolutely loses it, a skill that can reverse summon the master. Now it is the minion's turn, lunging forward to punish the disrespect. But the hunter has another trick up his sleeve, slapping the ground to activate a new trap. A massive stone pillar erupts from the floor, ready to crush the charging minion. This minion stops dead as the hunter slaps the ground, activating yet another trap. But he just backflips clean over the massive stone spike that erupts from the floor, only for it to come crashing down right on top of Yan Yanggong, slamming him into a pit and sealing him inside a stone prison. This thing is literally a coffin called Trap, Lover's Embrace, so subtle. This hunter starts his villain monologue, admitting he did not expect the reverse summon but was ready anyway, claiming this special coffin was designed just for our boy, and right on cue the inside of the trap erupts with a forest of deadly spikes. He's just waiting for the XP pop-up, getting a little concerned his target is still alive in there, when a sinister red energy starts pulsing from inside the coffin. And the entire trap gets blown to smithereens in a massive explosion. From the smoke, a massive molten demonic hand emerges from the crater, and the minion asks if the guy's dead, confirming he summoned his liege out just in time. But Yan Yanggong gets no XP notification, the hunter he just vaporized was a decoy. Way off in the distance, the real Zhu Yin is already making a break for it. He is hiding in a disguised trap, confident he can escape since the whole exit is rigged. Too bad for him, one of Yan Yanggong's demonic hounds is already sniffing out his trail. And that is the face of a man whose brilliant escape plan just fell apart. He desperately tries to shush the demonic beast, a truly galaxy brain move. But the hound just looms over him, mockingly asking if this is where he is hiding. This demonic hound unleashes a massive crimson beam right at him, completely obliterating the ground where he was cowering, sending the hunter flying as his perfect escape plan goes up in smoke. He is still monologuing, annoyed he wasted a decoy on the fatty, until some sinister tendrils grab him right out of the air. Then a massive crystalline spear erupts from below, and it is covered in that same inescapable tar he was so proud of. This whole area just explodes with more spikes, turning his own escape route into a deadly maze. Zhu Yin cannot believe it. The hound just triggered all his traps with one Aya blast. His face says it all, no more traps, no more plans, just pure panic. But as he turns to flee, a voice tells him it is a little too late for that, because the new demon lady is here, glowing with that fresh poison power-up. She unleashes a massive wave of toxic energy right at him, completely engulfing the hunter in a poison nova. Yan Yanggong gets the XP notification, asking if this kill is actually real this time. His new minion swears she would not dare trick him, she is fully reformed to evil now. Now he says it is time to settle the score with that guy, who turns out to be Zhu Yin himself, now a freshly converted level 7 demon, and the other minions are already hazing the new guy, telling him to call them big bro, welcome to the team. With his new demon squad assembled, Yan Yanggong gets down to business. His first order sending a minion to play bodyguard for Eileen's crew, then go undercover. While 3 others are assigned to a pure XP grind, no treasure, just levels. And now for the new guy, the hunter he just converted, who looks like he is about to get his first and possibly last performance review. He orders him and Netta Hu to fake their deaths and return to their guilds as spies, and Zhu Yin is already gushing, calling the plan brilliant. The suck-up is strong with this one. Meanwhile, a different party is getting absolutely stomped by a giant mammoth boss. And from a nearby cliff, a lone observer watches the chaos unfold, who turns out to be a level 10 Lizardman guild leader named Zhu Zai. Down below, the mammoth's foot is about to turn an adventurer into a pancake, but her tank steps in, shield ready, screaming for a heal, so the priest tells him to pop his ultimate defense skill while she preps a spell. He unleashes his unyielding shield, a massive wall of blue energy, bragging he can hold for 10 seconds easy since this once held a boss for a full minute. And the mammoth's tusk shatters his unyielding shield in about half a second, sending the warrior flying as his big talk completely evaporates, while the boss's attack carves a massive crater into the battlefield, leaving his teammates staring in horror. That was their best defensive move, and the entire party panics, realizing they are completely, utterly doomed. This mammoth boss finally notices the clifftop spectator, and it is not happy, but a party member points, screaming that the Zhu Scorpion guild leader is here to save them. And there he is, Zhu Zai, striking a pose like he is auditioning for a superhero movie, while the doomed adventurers are practically weeping with joy, thinking their bacon is saved. With a dramatic leap, he dives straight into the fray, landing with a haymaker right to the mammoth's face. This guy literally announces his super gravity fist midair, zero subtlety, and the blow sends the massive boss stumbling back, completely rocked. He follows up with a barrage of energy spikes, just tearing into it, and its back just explodes under the sheer force of the assault. This party below can only stare, muttering about how insanely powerful he is, so one of them wisely asks if they are about to get caught in the collateral damage. Her buddy tells her not to worry, they are a safe distance away, famous last words. He immediately gets disintegrated by the shockwave, proving his theory very, very wrong, leaving his partner to scream as the wave of destruction heads right for her. Now she and the last survivor are running from the expanding blast zone, but the ground swallows one of them whole as they scream for help, and in the next instant the rest of the party is just gone, vaporized. All that is left is a massive smoking crater where the battlefield used to be, with a single piece of debris flying through the air, the only thing left of the entire guild. Zhu Zai casually steps on the last bit of guild debris, and his subordinate Zhu Yin walks through the wasteland he created, thinking his boss is even more ruthless than he is, which is saying something. This lizard man himself appears, threatening to turn him into paste for being there. So Zhu Yin immediately starts spinning a PR story for the massacre, but the guild leader cuts him off, demanding the real reason he is here. This spy proudly announces he has handled some old case for him, but Zhu Zai could not care less, telling him to report it to someone else. As he leaves, Zhu Yin mutters about him meeting the angel again, and that gets the lizard's immediate, undivided attention. A split second later, Zhu Yin gets absolutely decked for his gossip, with his boss promising to turn him into mincemeat for running his mouth. With that friendly reminder, Zhu Zai is gone, leaving the guy in a crater. Zhu Yin, still just level 7, seethes, hoping his real liege levels up fast. Meanwhile, at the Angel Temple, Zhu Zai arrives for a meeting, kneeling before a knight in angelic armor, reporting a kill and asking for a reward. This Lord Angel is unimpressed, asking if a whole territory of bosses was not enough. So Zhu Zai explains that after level 10, XP gains from weak mobs just stop. He's basically begging for a dungeon key, citing all the dirty work he has done over the years, and his groveling is met with pure, unadulterated rage. This angel brings down a massive energy blade for that little bit of disrespect, but a voice booms enough. As the temple doors slam shut, this sword stops inches from Zhu Zai's head, who is absolutely terrified. This angel then lectures him about how he saved his entire clan from extinction. So Zhu Zai can only bow, a fresh crater marking his near-death experience. He walks away, seething with pure humiliation. This crack from that one sword swing has carved a path right out of the temple, stretching all the way into the wasteland. Talk about a performance review. Knowing he is outmatched, Zhu Zai decides to hit the black market for a key instead. Elsewhere, Yan Yanggong finds a shady portal opening in an underpass, and he stands before the crackling entrance to who knows where. A masked dude pops out, asking if he is also here for a key. This guy tells him to cut the chatter and just follow him inside. Turns out Zhu Yin vouched for him, granting access to a massive underground market. His guide lays down the law: no fighting or a high-level mage will end you. Yan Yanggong is impressed. They hid the whole operation in a dungeon to avoid the angels. This is the spot for rare loot, and the guide knows he is here for a dungeon key, so our boy pulls out a little something to grease the wheels, casually offering a solid gold bar as a tip. He gets real friendly, calling it a token of appreciation, already working the system. This guide is now his biggest fan, calling him a savvy newcomer for that tip. And just like that, Yan Yanggong gets the VIP treatment, no waiting in line for him, as they walk right past a massive queue of adventurers all waiting for access. Apparently everyone's here for keys, so the guide offers some pro tips. Breaking down the system, dungeon keys are strictly a level 10 and up problem. First tier is normal, the no key required starter pack with pathetic slimes, while advanced dungeons need a key for slightly better loot and angrier fish dudes. Then epic dungeons are where the real XP grind begins, with a level 30 cap, and at the top, legendary dungeons are where even high-level players get wiped out. Yan Yanggong immediately starts looking for loopholes, asking if the key upgrades past 40, and our boy puts it together: if keys upgrade, there is no real level cap. This guide points out the problem: a level 41 key is useless since no such dungeon exists yet. Yan Yanggong's face says it all: what a completely pointless system. But wait, he asks, what about that 5th tier you mentioned? That would be Hell tier, and the guide's advice is simple: do not go, no one ever returns. An announcer kicks things off, addressing the huge crowd gathered in the auction hall, where a slick-looking guy in a suit announces the dungeon key auction is officially underway. First item on the block, a level 10 advanced key with a starting bid of 50,000, and some guy in the crowd immediately opens the bidding. But someone else instantly counters with a bid of 70,000. This is gonna get expensive. A new bidder enters the fray, a woman who casually throws down 80,000, and some guy in the crowd immediately clocks her as an unfamiliar face, probably because of the ominous red energy swirling around her heels, which she uses to grab the dude who was just bidding against her, shoving him back into the crowd like he is nothing. He immediately tells his buddy he is out since the key's not worth the profit margin, and his friend just roasts him for being a level 7 trying to play in the big leagues. This key ends up selling for 120,000 to some other guy who is now the center of attention, as a swarm of adventurers immediately try to recruit him, already arguing over loot. With that settled, the auctioneer moves on to the next batch of advanced keys, and the old-timer running the show looks ready to make some serious cash. After the low-tier stuff is gone, he announces the main event of the auction, revealing a level 10 epic dungeon key with a starting bid of 200,000. This crowd starts buzzing. The price is insane, but the potential rewards are even bigger, though someone brings up that a high-level team recently got wiped trying to clear one. And then a hand shoots up, shutting everyone down with a bid of 500,000. Of course, it is Zhu Zai, the Lizard Man guild leader, looking like he owns the place. This guide tells Yan Yanggong that you need that level of power just to survive an epic run, which flashes us back to hours earlier when Zhu Yin told him the guild leader would be here, confirming that Zhu Zai is so arrogant he would not even recognize his own people. Yan Yanggong connects the dots on Zhu Zai's sudden desperation to level up, and his guide confirms the lizard got his ego stomped at the Angel Temple recently. Back at the auction, Zhu Zai throws down 600,000, daring anyone to cross him, but his confidence shatters the second someone actually does. A mysterious woman with white hair who looks way too pleased with herself. She casually drops a cool million and the entire room just loses its mind. Even Yan Yanggong thinks the price is getting a little ridiculous. And the guide agrees it is a terrible return on investment for a level 10 key. There is a however hanging in the air though. A sinister smile spreads across our boy's face. He has figured out the angle. He stands up ready to make a power play of his own, immediately jumping the bid to 1.5 million, which just enrages Zhu Zai. This lizard man finally recognizes his rival, screaming that it is her again, and she just gives him a flirty little wink, absolutely loving the chaos. So he fires back with a bid of 2 million, only for her to instantly raise him to 2.1 million without even blinking. This bids just fly back and forth, climbing into the millions in seconds. Zhu Zai is absolutely fuming, accusing her of just trying to mess with him. He finally snaps, throwing down a massive 5 million bid to shut her up for good, and the crowd eats it up, praising the strongest level 10 for being such a big spender. Zhu Zai dares her to keep going, smugly promising to fold if she does, a classic rich guy bluff. So she immediately calls it, telling him to pull out, and his entire brain just short-circuits. This lizard is doing some serious mental math, trying to process how he just got so thoroughly owned. And then it finally hits him, he was just played for an idiot. He starts absolutely raging, demanding to know where she went so he can kill her for the disrespect. Vowing to murder her and everyone she knows, which is a totally normal reaction to losing a bidding war. Meanwhile, Yan Yanggong and his guide head for the exit, the trip seemingly a bust, and the guide apologizes, admitting he never saw that interruption coming. But Yan Yanggong plays it cool, saying outbidding the Lizard King was always a long shot. So his new bestie waves goodbye, promising to hit him up for the next big sale. The second the guide is gone, a sinister red portal swirls open at our boy's feet, and out steps the white-haired woman as Yan Yanggong congratulates her on playing Zhu Zai like a fiddle. She just wishes they'd actually gotten his money out of the whole scheme. But a voice cuts in, asking who said that, and she completely freezes. It is the auctioneer, who apparently has super hearing and a flair for dramatic entrances. She immediately threatens to silence him for eavesdropping on their little conspiracy, her eyes flaring with some serious killing intent. But his own eye glows with a power that shuts her right down. He reveals he knows she is a demon enslaved by the Liege and she can only confirm it, stunned. Yan Yanggong explains he knew the auctioneer was a demon all along and this was all part of his plan. This auctioneer hands over the spoils from their little scam, a cool 4 million after fees. And Yan Yanggong pockets the card, calling it the startup fund for Phase 2. But his demon partner points out they still do not actually have a key. Right on cue, a payment of 500,000 hits his account, which he immediately uses to buy a key from a grateful assassin who calls him Big Boss, and he dangles their new prize, explaining he got it way cheaper than the auction price. Apparently, the seller was the sole survivor of a team wipe and just wanted to offload it. A conversation that has been secretly overheard by Zhu Zai in his tiny lizard spy form. His subordinate reports that the key is for a 5-person dungeon with 3 slots still open. So Zhu Zai immediately grabs 2 of his armored goons to crash the party. One of the chosen knights is absolutely sweating, convinced he is about to die for his boss's ego. But as Zhu Zai tries to enter, a purple barrier slams him back, request denied. This Lizard King is completely baffled, screaming about how it can be full with only 2 people inside, while his 2 minions are on their knees thanking every god in existence for their survival. Utterly defeated, Zhu Zai decides to go to his own dungeon and deal with his humiliation later. And back with our crew, Yan Yanggong thanks his demonic underlings for their hard work. Now revealed as a level 10 demon lord, he promises to power level them all. As one of them confirms his disguise skill works perfectly, even hiding his level. With the mission a success, he cracks his knuckles, ready to announce a reward. He has unlocked a new skill, letting his subordinates raise their own armies from the dead. His demonic underlings are absolutely losing their minds over this new skill, but one of them immediately notices someone's missing. Where's Pondy? Turns out the little guy just bolted ahead to start farming kills all by himself. And he has got the right idea because the rules have changed. It is every demon for himself now. So the rest of the squad scrambles to catch up, not wanting to get left behind. Meanwhile, Yan Yanggong gets a status report on the outside world, and it seems Zhu Zai has retreated to his own dungeon to lick his wounds, so his spy is using a new stealth skill to camp the entrance, waiting for them to pop out. Back in the dungeon, one of his demons spots the first batch of enemies. And it is a whole mining operation run by some very industrious rat-faced dudes. Yep, level 10 rat-head miners, and they do not look happy about the interruption. One of them immediately points out the intruder, sounding the alarm, and the entire workforce just drops what they are doing to swarm the little guy, who seems completely unfazed, basically asking if they are here to die. But then this weird green energy starts swirling around him, which promptly explodes in a massive flash, blasting through the entire mine shaft, leaving him encased in some kind of protective green barrier. And he is not happy, realizing one of his allies just tried to nuke him, immediately going after the culprit and calling him out for being stingy with his own defenses. One of the demons immediately calls out the friendly fire, they have been sniped, and the culprit is another one of their own, just blasting away without a care. Who, when called shameless, just scoffs that honor was never part of the demon job description. With that settled, he rallies the rest of the squad to charge forward into the fray. Meanwhile, Yan Yanggong is just raking in the passive exp, loving every second of this. In Zhu Zai's dungeon, however, the vibe is less power leveling and more pest control, as his armored knight is completely gassed after taking down a single giant roach. While another one is already down, getting called trash by his own fearless leader, and Zhu Zai is in full-on manager mode, complaining his team is useless without his glorious presence. After that rousing pep talk, he tells everyone to get ready for the boss room. Their final boss is a massive, three-eyed rat-head king who apparently runs this whole operation. Back with our boy, the boss is already dead and his minions are leveling up. And Yan Yanggong hits level 11, realizing he can literally just lie down and gain XP the dream. He even dismisses the dead boss as too weak to be interesting. Right as a black vortex starts to form on the corpse, which opens into a shiny new portal for a level 11 epic dungeon. He orders his crew to clean up the loot for selling later, all business, before strolling toward the portal ready for the next one. His demons are already inside, absolutely tearing into some new chained-up beastie. And the level-up notifications just keep rolling in as his army steamrolls the place. His new necromancy skill is already paying off, letting his minions level up. And now at level 19, Yan Yanggong mocks how easy this is, basically daring the universe to prove him wrong. Meanwhile, in another dungeon, Zhu Zai's crew is having a slightly different experience, namely getting their heads caved in. Their party gets absolutely demolished by a level 14 Minotaur boss. So Zhu Zai has to step in himself, launching a furious attack, and he lands a massive punch right to the Minotaur's face, which completely obliterates the boss and shatters the ground around them. But he is still furious, screaming at his two remaining minions for being useless, and this lizard king just keeps ranting about their incompetence, a real motivational speaker. One of the survivors tries to warn him about something behind him, though. But Zhu Zai just turns around, completely annoyed by the interruption. Right as a sinister purple portal rips open in the air, out steps a way bigger, way stronger level 22 Minotaur boss. His knight absolutely panics since monsters are not supposed to be able to use portals. Zhu Zai, ever the egoist, just prepares to throw down again, unleashing some kind of powerful crushing attack on the new boss. This impact creates a massive shockwave, a huge display of power. But he is shocked that even with level suppression, the monster seems fine, and the Lizard King slowly realizes he might be in over his head. This smoke clears to reveal the Minotaur, completely unfazed and ready to murder him. Meanwhile, a purple portal opens near a random toll booth in the woods, where some poor schmuck is collecting a dungeon fee, a job with great benefits, I am sure. A pair of fresh kicks steps out of the portal, followed by a new guy who looks way too calm for this universe. But the taxman immediately stops him, hand out, telling him to wait a second, because apparently you have to pay a dungeon tax to this random dude. Our new hero is not impressed, asking which guild is running this little shakedown. This collector proudly announces he is with the Zhu Scorpion Guild, bragging his boss is inside getting stronger. So the hoodie guy just asks what happens if he does not feel like paying. And the goon threatens that his boss will come out and turn him into a pebble, which is a new one. This new guy just points up, casually asking, "Oh, you mean that guy?" And the collector looks up to see his boss getting launched out of the dungeon like a cannonball. This whole forest shakes from the sheer force of the exit, as the level 22 Minotaur boss comes crashing out right behind him, soaring through the air like a very angry, very muscular missile. It lands with enough force to absolutely shatter the landscape, leaving the little tax collector completely speechless at the sight. He starts panicking, screaming that a boss escaped and they are all dead, while a system-wide alert warns everyone in the area to evacuate immediately. This Minotaur then looks down at its handiwork, a thoroughly beaten and bloodied Zhu Zai. This Minotaur brings its hoof down, absolutely crushing Zhu Zai into the dirt. And for good measure, it rips a giant boulder out of the ground to finish the job, while our Lizard King can only stare up, too injured to even move an inch. With a massive boom, the boulder smashes down, seemingly obliterating him. But from a nearby cliff, a new spear-wielding mage unleashes a powerful spell, and she is a gold-ranked adventurer looking way too composed for this chaos. Her subordinate is already gushing, amazed she hit the target from such a distance. But she is completely baffled, realizing she had not even finished her chant yet, because down in the crater our hoodie guy is just standing there, totally fine, and a very confused Zhu Zai, now safely on the sidelines, wonders if a high-level mage just arrived. This smoke clears, and of course it is our boy Yan Yanggong making his grand entrance. Zhu Zai's face is just a perfect mask of pure, unadulterated shock. As one of his own spies, still undercover, points out that Guild Master Zhu Yin looks a bit ragged, this Lizard King asks if he was the one who saved him, and Yan Yanggong basically says, "Yeah, but you were not the point." This just shatters Zhu Zai's ego. He cannot see the guy's level and is losing his mind over how he got so strong. So he immediately starts coping, insisting it is a disguise skill and the save was pure luck. Yes, that has got to be it, he tells himself, clinging to his fragile worldview for dear life. Yan Yanggong meanwhile just looks down at him, completely unimpressed by this internal meltdown, right as the Minotaur decides it is done waiting and throws a punch the size of a small car, which connects with an absolutely earth-shattering boom. This Minotaur roars, completely unaware it is being targeted, and a split second later a projectile smacks it right in the chest, making it glare towards the mountains, having found the shooter. Turns out it is some level 20 hunter with a fancy trap-boosting gear set, and the Minotaur, not one for long-range pleasantries, just prepares to leap off the cliff, launching itself with enough force to shatter the entire rock face. Our new hunter friend calmly fires off a net shot to intercept the angry beefcake, sending a glowing energy net hurtling through the air, which perfectly ensnares the boss mid-flight. With its momentum gone, the trapped beast starts plummeting back to Earth, crashing into a nearby mountain like a giant hairy meteor. Meanwhile, one of Yan Yanggong's demons asks if they can use their upgraded demon form, which gives a massive attack boost but also makes them take more damage, a real glass cannon setup. But Yan Yanggong shuts it down, saying there are too many witnesses for him to go full-on demon lord just yet. His spy immediately suggests a simple solution: just kill all the witnesses, problem solved. Before Yan Yanggong can even respond, the ground starts to violently erupt, as the Minotaur finds itself caught in the hunter's ground trap, getting launched into the air by a series of massive spikes, which just keep bursting from the earth around it, leaving the boss completely impaled and roaring in agony. This hunter notes his spike trap barely did any real damage, which makes a lot more sense when the boss is revealed to be level 24. Up on the ridge, the gold-ranked mage's insight skill cuts through the disguise, and her subordinate points out that a 4-level gap is basically a death sentence. He says that while she is a genius, this hunter has no hope of pulling off a similar feat, but she just smirks, clearly not convinced the fight's over yet. Down below, the hunter is already on the move, baiting the boss along the cliff face. Before he leaps over another one of his preset explosive traps, it detonates with a massive fiery blast right as the Minotaur steps on it, engulfing the entire area in a huge explosion. A pretty impressive boom for a little floor mat, but a flaming fist just punches straight through the smoke, completely unbothered. As the Minotaur emerges, now literally glowing with rage, this mage's sidekick scoffs that this kiting strategy is far too naive. Right as the boss officially enters its berserk mode, great timing, dude. Now supercharged, the beast starts sprinting along the mountain, and the hunter realizes his target just got a whole lot faster, so he throws down his next trick, a black tar trap, which erupts from the ground in sticky tendrils to grab the charging boss. But it is already resisting, fighting to break free from the magical sludge. This hunter just keeps firing, not giving the boss a second to breathe. But the arrows are just bouncing off the Minotaur's hide like toothpicks, and the mage's sidekick is quick to point out how useless those attacks are. But his boss just smirks, knowing there is more to this than meets the eye. Turns out each arrow is carrying a mini trap, a trap shot, and now the boss is covered in these little glowing landmines, which all detonate at once in a massive chain reaction, making the sidekick eat his words as he sees the effective damage. His boss, however, knows it is still not nearly enough to win, and the hunter watches the smoke clear, waiting for the inevitable, telling his unseen ally to stay alert because this fight is far from over. Right on cue, a massive shadow falls over him from above, as the Minotaur comes crashing down like an artillery shell, sending the hunter flying back from the sheer force of the impact. He lands right in another one of his own traps, a giant net, which was clearly meant for the boss, not for him. Great planning, dude. Now stuck, he finally swallows his pride and asks the mage for help, and a completely different woman appears, mocking him for finally asking. She then unleashes a toxic miasma spell, telling him to hold his breath, and the hunter just snarks back from inside the poison cloud, completely unfazed. This Minotaur is just standing there, absolutely fuming inside the toxic cloud, and it tries to just swat the poison away like it is a minor inconvenience, before unleashing a massive shockwave to blow the entire miasma back, which clears the air in a huge radius around it. Up on the cliff, the mage's sidekick is still just staring, amazed by the sudden fog, but the poison has already started to work, covering the boss in nasty black boils, and that is the cue for the hunter's partner to trigger her exploding gas bomb, turning that entire poison cloud into a massive, fiery inferno.